Well, you know the saying, time flies when you're having fun. Hard to believe this is the last day here at SEMA in 2012 at Las Vegas. The things we've seen, the fun we've had, the sights, the sounds, unbelievable experience. I encourage you to try to get out here at some point in time in the future. But as I'm wandering around outside, kind of stumbled across this. This is kind of maybe two for the price of one. Now, Larry Mack, I don't plan on retiring anytime soon, but if I do want to reduce that mortgage payment when I retire, maybe this is the way to go. Downstairs, we drive around. Upstairs, we live. Maybe a little crowded with Linda and the dogs, but I think we can make it work. You know, all my years as a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series crew chief, my goal was to try to get that race car just as close to the ground as possible. And of course, we look at teams today, they've got the race car right against the asphalt because they know aerodynamically that's the fastest way around the racetrack, no matter what size of track. But I think this right here puts a whole new meaning to ground effects and to the ground. Only thing I would say about this, speed bump pretty much would put an end to this ride. You know, maybe you're one of those car enthusiasts, you just can't make your mind up if you want a car or you want a truck. Of course, you can find it at SEMA if you like both. Here, this 70s Chevelle, just take a look. What an awesome looking car, but it's a 4x4. It even has a running board. One other thing about a 70s Chevelle, back in the day, pretty awesome NASCAR stock car. Well, as you can tell, our third day here at SEMA seems to be more about cars. Of course, you think about SEMA, you think about cars. Well, it took me 2.5 days. I found the ultimate. Now, everybody knows how much Larry Mack loves the weather. When I can't watch it, I just get my wife to video it. How about this car right here, tornadovideos.net. You know what I love about it? I got to get me one of these. It even has a weather station. Now, I have a lot of goals in life. One was to win a championship, one's to win an Emmy as a broadcaster, but my ultimate goal, I want to go chase a tornado or a hurricane with Jim Cantori. You know, I can't say that pink is my favorite color, but I want to get serious for just a second here at SEMA. Remember, we just came off October, and of course, October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I just think it's so cool to be here at SEMA and seeing them wrap their arms around special vehicles with this pink paint scheme, a lot like NFL, a lot like NASCAR, really trying to raise awareness of breast cancer. Of all of the different vehicles that I've looked at here at SEMA, this may be a first right here. This is actually an official police vehicle, and it's got a little bit of everything on it, but the biggest thing I notice is this radar on top of it. So, you know, nobody wants to get into a police car, especially if you get put in the back seat. You might want to watch if you go through Sweetwater, Tennessee. You might want to be a little careful, although riding this thing may be pretty cool. You know, Larry Mack, I'm all about NASCAR, but I've got to say, sitting here under the bonnet of Cruz Pedregon's funny car is awfully cool. Now, we always talk about the horsepower that a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series car makes, probably right around 850 horsepower. Well, how much horsepower do you think this engine makes in Cruz's car? You know what? I haven't found anyone brave enough to put it on a dyno just yet. You know, I always preach to Brandon about his race tires. Never take for granted things like the air tank or mounting up a tire, or especially putting air in a race tire. Now, I don't think Brandon will ever have to worry about mounting a tire and wheel this size on his race car, but you don't think the guy that was inflating this tire was glad he had this safety cage here? Just take a look at this video right here, and I think it'll pretty much tell you the tale. You know, with a race tire, they always say the softer the compound, the better. Now, I know that was not the intent of this machine that was built, and just for the record, Larry Mack never really broke the NASCAR rule book. I just tend to work in the gray area. I actually built something just like this that was a rotisserie that we would actually put a little substance on the tire just to make it a little bit grippier. Of course, today in NASCAR, if you do that, you'd get that unwelcome 6-week vacation, maybe even longer. As you know, NASCAR is true to my heart. It's what I've done my entire career as far as NASCAR racing, but I love all forms of racing. I love drag racing, Formula One, Indy cars. Let's just say I'm a true race fan. Now, there's a little form of racing that keeps getting more and more popular, and it's the drift racing. Now, here you have this Toyota Scion that's one of the drift cars, and we've been watching some of these out front really be doing a lot of expedition with a lot of passengers in it. Now, I've got this young lady right here. Have you ever done any drift racing as far as riding? Ride along. You've not done it yourself?
No.
But you rode along?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I wouldn't mind doing it as long as I could have her for a passenger. Now, since I work for Speed, and as we know, for the last 17 years, Speed has been covering Formula One racing, really took an attraction to it. I love the technology. When you think about the downforce, when you think about the braking, the horsepower, all the things that goes along, and what amazes me is how fast these cars can stop and how fast they can turn and accelerate. Now, I know, talking to Tony Stewart, who actually swapped rides with Lewis Hamilton last year at Watkins Glen, first time he'd ever been in a Formula One car, he absolutely loved everything about it. I'm not sure Lewis Hamilton was quite the fan of the NASCAR stock car. Now, I know you may find this hard to believe, this is the closest I've ever been to a Formula One car. I've never considered myself a big fan or a big wheel buff, but I just can't get out of this hall with wheels, and I continue to see something that's more unique than anything I've ever witnessed. One, look at the size of this rim. I'm not sure exactly what type of a vehicle you would put it on. We know it's all about the bling. Just look at the diamonds on this rim right here. I'm not sure who in the world could afford just one rim. I know if I wanted to buy one, I'd just have to buy one, and maybe what I could do is just swap it out from corner to corner over the course of time. Don't know if I could ever afford all four. As you probably know, old Larry Mack, I'm a pretty conservative guy, especially when it comes to vehicles. I like safety. I've been thinking about safety my entire life. I definitely prefer at least 4 wheels over 2 wheels. There's 2 things I've vowed I will never buy. One is a hairpiece, which I might have to reconsider that. The other is a motorcycle. But I think here at SEMA, I found a 2-wheel vehicle that I might be fairly comfortable with.
Hello, I'm Keiko, and I'm here with Luna and Larry Mack. What did we teach you, Larry, at the SEMA convention today?
Well, besides having a great time, I think it's what I taught you girls. It's pour it in, pour it on. We've spent 3 days wandering around SEMA, and we wrapped it up here at Jotech Motorsports and the Slick 50 display. Have y'all had fun?
Yes, I had a blast. Thank you.
I know I've had a blast, and I hate to leave, but I've got to go to Texas for the Sprint Cup Series race. You have anything to give me before I go away? You know the song, How Do You Like Me Now? So long from SEMA 2012.